this edition of Car and Driver.
Remember Saturn, Roger Smith's grand idea for sticking it to the imports? It was 12 years ago that the first Saturns rolled out of brand new dealerships to take their plastic body panels out to fend off shopping carts nationwide. But in recent years, the Saturn line of cars, even the larger cars, haven't been what most Americans are looking for. But at long last, things may be looking up, thanks to the VUE, the new Saturn sport utility. 12 years ago, Saturn created their own niche in the market with no haggle pricing and the introduction of the S-Series small cars. Of course, they weren't the small cars until the line was expanded with the addition of the midsize L-Series 9 years later. And none of the car sales have justified the investment. But help has been visible since last year with the new Saturn Sport Utility out on the auto show circuit. It was an early build vehicle then, but the first of the production units are now on the streets. They'll be at dealers in 2002 as the Saturn VUE rolls out to compete with the Ford Escape, Toyota RAV4, and the Honda CR-V, bringing Saturn styling to help Saturn buyers feel at home.
This thing is a very distinctive looking product. It has a very contemporary, fresh, clean look, which we know that our customers are really going to appreciate, because in this segment, this whole idea of people customizing their cars and personalizing them, they're looking for a clean style, and this one has it. I think also when people look at it, it's very modern, and the fact is that it's just not just kind of a flat horizontal line with just a glass roof put on top. It has a lot of nice detail in its shape.
We really wanted people to take ownership of their vehicle, have a relationship with their vehicle, and we wanted people to think about their view of what a sport utility is to them. To some people, that might be the functionality or the safety of the vehicle. To other people, it might be the ride and handling or the performance. So it's their view of a sport utility.
Best hope the customers are interested in function and versatility, like easy step-in with a low threshold, but still a high sight line that appeals to customers these days. The driver gets typical Saturn gauges, but in a new dash design with a pod extension below the stereo and HVAC controls for the shifter and window switches. The second row looks inviting only if you're under the age of 12 or so. The seat back is a 70-30 split for combination cargo people loading. But get everything down and you've got 64 cubic feet of carrying room, less than the CR-V, 1 cubic foot more than the Escape. Then there are the little ideas like a pop-up organizer to keep small cargo where you put it, and a pair of bins to keep gallon jugs from flying around as you round a corner on the way home, and a choice of grab handles to close the hatch, whether you're right or left-handed. And there's still more from the Saturn file of ideas to make a customer grin.
When you take dirty shoes off at night and you've got lights on the liftgate to see what you're doing and you've got a spot for them, those are the things that you can't go out and say, these are big things, but they're little things that are going to matter a lot over time.
Which is good, since there's nothing special in the suspension or handling. The layout is struts in front and trailing arms and links for the independent rear suspension. All-wheel drive is an option. The VUE is a front driver first and always at the base level, but in typical city driving and in mild ventures off the asphalt, the handling is car-like, which is a benefit in the small ute class, and is in keeping with the mild engine choices under the hood, which are familiar from other Saturns.
What we wanted to achieve with the Saturn VUE is a very wide range of powertrain choices. So we have our base engines are 2.2-liter Ecotec 4-cylinder, and optional engines a 3-liter V6. The 4-cylinder is available both as a front drive application and an all-wheel drive application. And with the V6, we have an all-wheel drive application.
The news is the choice of transmissions for the VUE. Either get a 5-speed manual or a 4-speed automatic, or the first domestic use of a continuously variable transmission with a steel belt squeezed by 2 variable drive pulleys to find the right gear ratio for anything the VUE is asked to do, whether it's applying power or achieving higher fuel mileage.
It's a very compact package. You can see here on this transmission, it's very short overall, particularly the on-engine axis length, we call it. The back of the engine goes here on the bell housing, and this is on the left side of the vehicle. And this is an extremely compact package. 353 millimeters was a magic number that we packaged this transmission within. So it's a very compact package. Gave our vehicle designers a lot of flexibility to have good overall layout, to have a maximum interior space. Very few compromises because it's very tight packaging. The second reason is fuel economy. We have an 8% better fuel economy than we have with a conventional 4-speed automatic transmission. And there's a lot of synergy between the CVT and electronic throttle control that allows us to generate that 8% better fuel economy.
And while the CVT takes some getting used to from behind the wheel, it can solve some problems that trouble other automatics.
If you've ever been on a hill and you're climbing it and the car shifted from fourth to third and fourth to third, the car wants 3.5. As an engineer, I can give you 3.5. I can give you 3.6 if that's what the car wants.
So that's the package, built as a space frame wrapped in the traditional plastic body panels and with a soft nose interpretation of the traditional Saturn frowning headlights to make the brand statement. And with one more option to continue the Saturn emphasis on safety.
Saturn was one of the first manufacturers here in the U.S. to be able to offer the head curtain airbag, which, during a side collision actually helps to protect the head from the side impact. We introduced that on our S-Series and our L-Series just a little while ago, and we're continuing on with this vehicle offering the same type of device. We also have 3-point shoulder belts in all seating positions for all 5 seating positions. We're also going to be offering OnStar, which will be the first time for a Saturn product. OnStar will be offered also for that additional safety and security that the OnStar system provides.
And what will it cost under Saturn's Take It or Leave It pricing plan? The start point for the 4-cylinder stripper is $16,835, but the base price with the V6 and all-wheel drive is $23,885. With options, you're at $25, right there with a loaded Ford Escape. And with Saturn dealers just delighted to have something to sell that Americans might actually want in 2002.